Hi, I'm John Bernstein, Arms and Armor Curator for the National Museum of the Marine Corps. Today, we're sitting here in front of Lucky, our combat veteran Sherman tank that fought in the Battle of Iwo Jima. Lucky's story is an interesting one. She really was lost for a number of years until she was discovered on Camp Lejeune in 2002 and then came to the National Museum. And when I climbed up on top of this tank, I realized that we had an amazing piece of history. All around the top of the tank are weld scars that indicated that there had been nails welded on top of this tank. All these little dots all over the place. Nails were a countermeasure that the 5th Tank Battalion specifically used during the Battle of Iwo Jima, and they were to protect the crews from Japanese magnetic anti-tank mines. The roof armor on a Sherman is only an inch thick. So what the nails did was allowed it to sort of hit on an angle and not stick to the top of the turret, and therefore the explosive power would be directed away and keep the crew safe. Now, nails were specific to the 5th Tank Battalion. Only 34 tanks on Iwo Jima had nails welded on their turrets like this. The fact that there was no weld scarring like this on either the driver or the bow gunner's hatches allowed me to determine that this was actually a C Company tank. And then the sort of the decisive factor in enabling us to determine which tank this was the brush guard in front of the siren here. And that is not standard. And so comparing that to an original photo of one of the Charlie Company tanks on Iwo Jima, we were able to determine exactly which tank this was. And it turns out that this was the platoon commander's tank for 3rd Platoon, Charlie Company, 5th Tank Battalion, commanded by Lieutenant Leonard Blake. When this tank was in combat, it actually had wooden planks attached to the side, and that was again to protect against magnetic mines. So here we have the original name Lucky, as was painted on the side pre-Iwo Jima. One of the really cool things that I found during the research phase of this project was original footage of another tank from the battalion that kind of foundered as it was coming ashore. And it's a full color reel too, which is really neat. But the name on the side of the tank, Horrible Hank, was done in the same exact font and style as Lucky is here. So we know that that is original to it, pre-Iwo Jima, and it's the name that it came ashore with on the island with. We're looking down into the driver's hatch now, and you can see the 2 lateral sticks that the driver would use to control the tank. You can see the remnants of the instrument panel there on the left. The frame's still there, but the original instruments are long gone. And you can also see the seat pan there for our driver, Corporal Leighton Wilhite. And then on the far side of the transmission is the bow gunner's seat. And it's who controlled the .30 caliber machine gun and was ready to take over driving duties as necessary. So right here, we have a little hole in the armor. Doesn't look like much, but that's actually a pretty significant piece of marine innovation. That's the hole where the cable for a field phone would come out and link to an EE8 field phone right here. And this is one of the ways that the tankers were able to talk to their accompanying infantry. So after the Battle of Iwo Jima, one of the most common after-action comments from all of the infantry battalions and all of the tank battalions was, we need more flamethrower tanks. Everybody wanted more flamethrower tanks. They were the most effective weapon on the battlefield. They can use the main gun against hardened fortifications or the flamethrower against apertures and other access points on bunkers. So really was a pretty ingenious solution to the problem, and by having both weapons, it allowed the tank crew a lot more flexibility in dealing with fortifications. So of the 72 that were converted, there were only 3 known survivors. This one here. Unfortunately, those other 2 tanks really were don't have the flamethrower systems still intact within them. Lucky is the only one still in this configuration, so we're pretty lucky to have her this way.